Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great and are taking care of your health in this COVID time. In this video, we will learn how to send screenshots whenever a particular test case fails. But before doing any automation or doing any coding, we should first ask why to do it, what's the need. So let me answer that first. In all the current automation test frameworks, we need to wait till the whole suite is completed to check out the report and to find out which test cases failed and why. And if you have a good test automation coverage, even if you run it parallelly, it usually takes an hour for the whole suite to get run. So if there is a production issue, you would get to know it at least after an hour, and that 1 hour can do a lot of damage. Also, the report which is generated is usually in the private network of your company. So if you are out of office, you need to first connect to the VPN to check out the report, which also is an overhead. So I got this idea that why not send a screenshot as soon as the test case failed, so that all the stakeholders can see which test case failed and why, and they can immediately act on it. And in this way, the damage will also be minimized. Also, you don't need to connect any VPN to check out the screenshots. And not just this, I will tell you multiple other benefits of this whole system at the end of the video. And now, we all know that why should we do it. So let me explain you how can we do it. So this whole script, from writing a test case to sending the screenshot on Slack, can be done in 5 simple steps. But before jumping into the code, let's first see what Slack incoming webhook is, as we would be requiring that to send the message to Slack. And for that, let's go to api.slack.com/messaging/webhook, as it contains all the information related to the Slack incoming webhooks. And it says that incoming webhooks are a simple way to post messages from apps into Slack. Creating an incoming webhook gives you a unique URL to which you send a JSON payload with the message text and some options. This page explains you how can you create a particular Slack app, and then how can you enable and create an incoming webhook. And after creating an incoming webhook, you would be getting a URL something like this. And this URL you would be requiring to send a message across Slack. And how can you use that particular URL? That is also explained here. So you just need a JSON payload, and then you need to use a post request to send the message across Slack. And now, as we have some basic idea about the Slack incoming webhook, let's see what are the 5 steps that we need to perform to execute the whole setup. Our first step is to write a working test case. Second step is to capture the screenshot whenever the test case fails. And here we would be using getScreenshotAs method to capture the screenshot. And as we know that we need to use a JSON payload in the Slack incoming webhook post request to send anything on the Slack. So to post a particular screenshot on Slack, we need to pass its image URL as a key in the JSON payload. And to get the image URL, we need to first upload that image to a particular server. So here I would be using Imgur as that server. However, there are multiple different websites where you can upload that particular image, and even you can use your company server to upload the image. And to upload the image on a server, you need to first convert that image to a base 64 string so that you can insert that in the JSON payload of its post request. So a third step is to convert the image to base 64 string, and then we would be uploading the image on a server using its post request, and in the response we would be getting the URL of that particular image. And our fifth and the final step is to hit the Slack incoming webhook using its post request and pass the image URL in its JSON payload so that the message along with the screenshot can be posted on Slack. And now we have the overview of all the 5 steps that we need to perform. So let's start doing it now. So here I'll be writing a very simple test case first. And I'm using assert.assertTrue and I'm passing the value as false so that it fails, and I'm passing the message as assertion fails. And this sample test class extends the base test class, inside which I've taken the WebDriver and then in the before suit I have mentioned the path of the Chrome driver. Then I'm initiating the driver using driver is equal to new Chrome driver, and then I would be opening the Amazon website using driver.get command. And as we want to send the screenshot whenever the test case fails, I've made a suit listener class. So this class implements the iTest listener interface. And if I go inside this iTest listener interface, we can see there are multiple methods which gives you the power to do anything whenever a test case starts, it's a success, it fails, it skips, and so on. So let me get back to my suit listener class now. So as you can see here, I've used the onTestFailure method, which basically gives me the power to do anything whenever a test case fails. And inside this method, I am taking the screenshot of the current UI using takeScreenshot.getScreenshotAs method. And then I'm appending a .png string at the end of that particular file because we want to upload the file on a server. Along with this, I'm taking out the error message that we would be getting whenever that particular assertion would be failing. So that I'm doing like result.getThrowable.toString, because eventually when we would be sending the screenshot to the Slack channel, we would be posting a message along with it, and that message would be this particular error message. And after that, I'm hitting the Slack incoming webhook, but we would be coming to this line of code in some time. First, let's see that how can we upload the taken screenshot to Imgur. So to upload an image on Imgur, you need to hit its post request. And to get all the information related to the different endpoints of Imgur, you can visit api.imgur.com/endpoints/image. In this page, all the endpoints are mentioned. As you can see, if you want to get the information of a particular image, you can use this endpoint. If you want to upload an image, the endpoint is mentioned. And if you want to delete or update any particular image, then the endpoints are also mentioned here. However, you would be requiring an authorization key whenever you are using a particular endpoint of Imgur. So to get that authorization key, you need to first log in into Imgur. So as soon as you log in, you can go to your profile and then you can get your authorization key, which you would be requiring whenever you are hitting an endpoint of Imgur. And now let's get back to IntelliJ to see how to hit its post request. So here I'll be using rest assured to hit the post request. And here, as you can see, the base URI is the one which was mentioned in the Imgur website. And I'm passing the authorization key as well here, which I'm picking up from the properties file. I'm passing the content type, and in the form param, I'm passing the image as the key along with the base64 converted image. And then I'm hitting the post request, and then I'm getting the path of that particular URL. So this is the method that I would be actually using, and this is the method that I have used here to show you guys what would be the response like. So let me expand it, and then let me try to hit this particular method to see what would be the response. So I've used a test image here, and then I'm converting it to the base64 image, and then I'm hitting this particular base URI. So yes, so this is the response that we would be getting, and as you can see, it's a nested JSON. And let's see what we would be getting the link. And yes, this is the link that we would be getting after posting a particular image to Imgur. And as before hitting the Imgur post request, we need to first convert our image to the base64 string. Let's see how to do it. So here I've used a very basic method which would be converting my screenshot to the base64 string. You can find multiple other ways on internet that would be explaining you how to convert a particular image to the base64 string. Here my method basically takes the image path as a parameter. it converts the image to the base64 string and then it returns it. Let's see, whenever I'm converting a particular image to the base64 format, how does it look like? So this is the result that we got after converting our image to the base64 string. And now we would be passing this base64 image in the Imgur JSON payload while we are hitting its post request. So we would be first converting our image to the base64 string, and then we would be hitting its post request, and then we would be extracting the link of the uploaded image. And after extracting the link of the uploaded image, we need to hit the Slack incoming webhook. So now let's get back to the api.slack.com/messaging/webhooks to see what is the kind of sample JSON payload that we need to hit. So here, if you come down, you'll see that they have mentioned a basic JSON payload here with the URL and the content type. And here they have mentioned that what are the different keys that we can actually use to hit the incoming webhook. They mentioned the type, block ID, text, everything. So by referring to this particular JSON, I have made a very basic JSON payload which I would be using to hit this Slack incoming webhook, which is like this. So here I mentioned the channel name, which would be the Slack integration which I made in the Slack. And then we have an attachments key under which we have an array where we have multiple keys like image URL, which we have actually got after hitting the Imgur post request. And then we have the username, by which username you want to send the message. And then we have the pretext. So this pretext would be the error message that we would be getting through testng. So now I'm copying this particular JSON payload, and then I would be pasting it in the IntelliJ, and then I would be parameterizing all the values which are mentioned here, because this image URL would be different for every particular screenshot, and we can parameterize this pretext as well, which would also be different. So if I am getting different assertion error messages for different test cases, this would be different. So I would be parameterizing this as well. And if you want to send it to different channels, so you can parameterize this particular key as well. So let me copy it and then let me paste it to the IntelliJ. So here, as you can see, I am using rest assured again to hit the Slack incoming webhook. So I'm getting the base URI from the properties file. The base URI I cannot really show it to you because of the security reasons, but yes, you can generate your own base URI as it's mentioned in the beginning of the video, and you can go to the Slack website to generate it. The content type would be JSON, and in the body I need to send the payload. And here you can see I parameterize the channel, image URL, and the pretext, and which I'm getting from the from this particular method. So I have basically parameterized this particular method, and then I would be calling it, and then I would be giving all the required parameters into this accordingly. And I've kept the username as Samir only because that doesn't really matter. If you want, you can parameterize that as well. So yeah, so that's it. We just need to hit this particular rest assured given when then, and then we would be getting the screenshot as well as the error message on the Slack channel. So let's revisit all the steps that we have done till now, and then let's try to run the code to see how it actually works. So this is our sample test class, which has an assert.assert true statement. This sample test class extends the base test class, which would be initiating the driver and would be opening the amazon.in web page. And we have a suit listener class, which would be hitting the Slack incoming webhook whenever the test case fails. And this method basically takes three parameters, which is channel name, image URL, and pretext. And the channel name, as you can see, I mentioned it as integration, Slack integration. And the image URL we would be getting from Imgur when we would be converting a screenshot to base64 string, and then we would be hitting the post request of Imgur. And this error message we would be getting through this line of statement, which is string error message equal to result.getThroughable.toString. Now let's run the code and see how it works. To run the code, I would be going to the testng.xml. Here I mentioned the listener class name as suit listener, so that whenever the test case fails, it would be going to this class and then would be executing the onTest failure method. And in the class name, I have mentioned the sample test class. Let me run it now. So after running it, it would be initiating the Chrome driver first and then would be opening the Amazon website and then would be going to the assertion statement that we have mentioned in the sample test class and would be eventually failing and would be sending the screenshot to Slack. So the code has been executed and you can see that the assertion has failed. So now let's go to Slack to see if you have got the screenshot or not. So this is the Slack messaging app that we have, and here you can see that we have got the error message with the Samir username along with the pretext, which is the error message, along with the screenshot which is mentioned here. So you can open it and you can see it. Now let me run it with some another assertion statement so that we can see if we are getting the updated values or not. So now I'm using assert equals and I'm passing the values as 1 comma 2 so that it fails, and I am passing the error message as not equals. Let me go to testng.xml and then let me run it again. So it would be again opening the Amazon website and then would be going to the updated assertion statement that we have mentioned. So yes, the code has been executed and you can see we have got the updated message here. Now let's go back to Slack. So yes, you can see that we have got the updated message here along with the screenshot. And this error message is same as that we have got in the IntelliJ, which is mentioned here. So in the real-time scenario, whenever you're getting element not found or stale element reference exception, or in case any assertion is getting failed, you don't really need to wait till the whole execution gets completed, and then you basically use to check your report to see whichever test case failed, and then you use to check the screenshot that why it got failed. So here you can directly go to the Slack channel and you can directly see which particular test case failed and what is the assertion error, or what is the if you're getting any element not found or any other error, and then you can directly check the screenshot there itself and you can immediately act on it. And you can basically add all the stakeholders in that particular Slack channel group so that all the stakeholders can actually see that what is the problem that we are facing in the production or on the staging app, and they can immediately act on it so that the damage can also be minimized in this case. So earlier what used to happen, all the QAs used to check out the reports and then they used to involve all the stakeholders, but not now. All the stakeholders are already added in that particular Slack group. They can directly see the screenshot, they can directly see what is down in production, and they can immediately act on it, which has given a lot more power, a lot more use to the whole automation that we are doing in our organization. So that's it guys. I hope that you've liked the video, and I hope that this whole setup would be of use to you as well in your organization. So please like and share the video, and do let me know the feedback in the comment section, and do subscribe to my channel because I've already made a lot of videos which I would be putting in very soon. Also, I have added the GitHub link for this particular project in the description section, so do check it out. Along with that, I've added the links for the Imgur endpoints and the Slack incoming webhook for your reference. Thank you everyone.